All right, it's Mooch. I'm in my Ina Garten outfit today. And if you don't know who Ina Garten is, then I guess you'll have to look her up online. Anyway, this is the second time I'm recording this video. Let's hope this comes out because I had to stop it because I wasn't going to edit the whole thing. As you know. So today is going to be about sort of on the topic of budgeting, but not. It's more how to revamp and restructure what you're doing when you're in your 50s or you're in middle age or you're older than that or whatever, or you're unemployed and different things like that, different life situations. But a lot of people find that they're wasting money on a lot of things because they're not paying attention. They're not quite keeping track, or they think they need XYZ and they don't really need it anymore because it's become obsolete or there's better stuff out there. So let's have a quick chat about how you might redo your budget, buy some different things, or look into some different things to change what you're doing. Because realistically, I don't believe in, and I just don't think it really works, the whole get rid of your lattes, don't buy any coffees, the whole get rid of everything out of your budget. Now, yes, if you're unemployed, certainly, yes, you do have to restructure in a way like that. So there are some inevitable scenarios where actual cutting, complete cutting out might have to happen. So I acknowledge that. But if you're not and you're employed, or maybe one of you loses your job, or maybe just as midlife happens, you just want to restructure things, or you realize, wow, I'm just bleeding a whole bunch of money. I'm not paying attention to my bills. Even though I have enough money to make it through each month and have spending money, it just seems like I'm paying a lot towards a lot of my bills. So a lot of it is just creep, where people um, subscribe to things or they purchase things, or they don't really think about how much things cost and they just do them or buy them or whatever. Like, not so much people my age exactly, but people maybe 10 or 20 years older than me, they all have cable TV. And I'm like, why? And a lot of it is just, well, we've just had cable forever and we don't know how to use apps, or they're just very wary about their own smart TV and how it works. Because basically, most smart TVs, if you have a smart TV, and most people at this point have some level of smart TV, even if it's an older one, but there's an app on there usually already pre-installed for free television. That's basic television. I mean, you can watch a lot of stuff. I'm not saying you can watch every sports game out there. So if you're a sport freak, yes, I'm sorry, you might still have to have cable, or you might have to split your subscription services into different sport things for yourself. That's just the way the sports world works. And I'm not super familiar because, one, I'm a woman, and two, I'm not really into sports, so I just don't know. But I vaguely know that, yes, like a lot of the packages out there, they don't include sports, or rather cable. You can only watch sports on cable or whatever, or through different apps. Excuse me. See, I have a drink though. So, okay, let's talk about cable. Mostly you can cut your cord. You don't have to pay 200, 300, because that's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing from people older than me that are on massive budgets or Social Security that they're paying between $200 to $300 a month for cable. I'm like, are you insane? That's, half a car payment, or that's your electric bill, or that's like whatever. It's a whole bill. That's $200 to $300 a month. That's crazy just to watch some television. I'd rather just break out the DVDs, or I have cut the cord probably 15 plus years, going on 20 now, I think. I've just watched YouTube forever as my quote TV. So I don't watch television shows. Plus, they started to write television shows so stupidly that I couldn't even stand the scripts anymore. I couldn't watch shows because they were too dumb. So YouTube just filled a lot of the gaps. The only television show I literally watch these days is Gilded Age. But so that only comes on at once every 2 years when they're done filming it. So it's not like I have a ton of television to watch. Bottom line, take a look on your smart TV. Do you have an app there for like Freevee, I think, a Tubi? or Amazon Prime has some kind of free television. There's a bunch of different free television apps, or your television might have a it's just a setting on the controller. When you click away from where you're watching, it flips to like the television app automatically. So there's a couple different ways depending on the television. But do that, or go search in your TV's apps. There's a place for apps on your TV, and then you can search for free television apps. Check it out, because you probably can watch a majority of the shows that you already watch, or maybe they're all there. I don't know. And it's free. So why on earth would you pay $200 to $300 a month for something that's absolutely free on your own television? As long as you have internet. That's the other thing too. Like, some people don't have internet, and it's like, get internet. It doesn't make any sense. Because half the time too, they're paying. Here's the next thing. They're paying for a much bigger, higher phone plan because they use all the data. Well, you don't need to use all the data when you're sitting at home on your own internet, or at somebody else's house on their internet, like, or you're at a coffee shop on their internet. So most places that you're going to be playing your games all day. I don't game on my phone, so I don't know. But I know a lot of older people and midlife people, they play all these little jewel games or bird games or whatever games are on their phone. Excuse me. So they're playing all the games, using up all the data. Okay, you need most of that. So if you just buy cheaper internet, it doesn't have to be the fastest speed. You can get the middle of the road, whatever. I have like 300, and I think I pay like 70 something, but I was paying 60 something dollars a month. You have to shop around, you have to look around. I know there's not a lot of internet providers for a lot of us, but there's a few. So check it all out. And if you are even at retirement age, you have to ask. You have to ask about over 65, limited income programs. Look up on their website if they list any of that. Sometimes you have to dig for it, but it's there. And the whole point is you can just get some internet, get rid of your cable, watch your smart TV, use everything that's on your smart TV, and then get a lesser phone plan. I, for definitely 20 plus years, have had cheap phone plans because mostly I'm on Wi-Fi at home or wherever I am. I've got used data when I'm not on Wi-Fi, but that means I'm using such a small amount of data a month. I can buy like the cheapest plan or the second cheapest plan or something. So for years, my phone cost me $15 a month. I think 20 and maybe 25 now. It depends on the provider, because I used to be with Consumer Cellular, then there was a problem with them, so I had to get away from them, then Mint. And I would not recommend Mint Mobile necessarily, because they have a lot of problems too, and they have a lot of customer service problems that I ran into last year that caused a whole debacle. But either way, there's Patriot Mobile, there's Boost Mobile. I think there's so many different plans out there that are like, get an unlimited plan for like 25 bucks, so you can actually even find today data plans for phones that are unlimited and they're really cheap. So it doesn't make any sense either. Like, I'll talk to even younger people my age or even younger than me, who, again, they're paying $200 for their phone bill every month. And they're like, well, we have, 3 phones, or we have a family, or, oh, we use this much data. But do you? Because if you just switch to using your home Wi-Fi because you bought internet now for like 60, 70 bucks a month, you don't have to spend 100, unless maybe you have a whole family. Yes, then maybe your internet bill is going to be about 100 a month. If your I'm going back to internet now, is over $100 a month, you're doing something wrong. You got to go talk to somebody else. Okay. It should not cost more than 100, and it should cost less than 100. I used to work from home with no problem with my, $65 internet. It wasn't the cheapest, because there's like 50, 40, 30, $30 internet out there if you're not using a lot of anything. But if you want to watch shows and stuff like that and movies and whatever, you have to have a speed that's fast enough. And if you have multiple devices, you have to have a speed that's fast enough. Either way, you can cut so much money. Think about it. If you were paying $200 to $300 for cable, $200 for your phone. There's like $400 or $500, $400 to $500 a month. You could cut down to probably less than 100 if you get one of these other phone plans. And most of these other cheaper phone plans too, they don't obligate you to go into a contract. So that's the thing too. Give up your contract where, oh, you have to subscribe for 1 year or 2 years and we've locked in your rate. Forget it. There's so many companies with lesser, lower rates who are either giving a lifetime rate or they're giving you a monthly, prepay. You have to prepay it. You can do 1 month, 3 months, 6 months. And sometimes when you prepay, you save even more money. So if you want a contract style almost, you can pay 6 months or a year ahead and get a lesser price. So you can still kind of operate the way that you want to if you like that whole contract setup, but so much more cheaply. Like, what are you doing? Why are you wasting $400 to $500 a month? So I would start there, truly. TV, phone, and internet. Like, fix all that. Fix that area of your life, save a ton of money, and now we can move on to some other spaces, okay? Yes, if you have DoorDash or you use DoorDash, that might be something you have to get rid of. But if you're not going to get rid of it, okay, there is one thing I would recommend. I kept mine. I live alone. So actually, one of the main reasons that I keep it is if I'm sick, and my goodness, a couple months back, I was sick for a whole month. And it came in handy because I was able to, rather than bother my friends and my family and whatever, and it's just up the street. I mean, I've got Walgreens, I've got 2 different Walgreens and a CVS up the street from me. I could DoorDash medicines, electrolyte drinks, whatever I needed, tissues, I mean, whatever. Anything that I needed from being sick, I could, DoorDash to myself. But I have the Dash Pass at 50% off, okay? I bought it when it was 50% off like 2 years ago, and then it renewed. I made sure. I was like, are you renewing at the regular rate? Because I don't want it. I don't want it for like $100-something. I think it's 60 or 65 or less. It might be between $50 and $65 for a full year of Dash Pass for DoorDash. And what it does is it takes away a lot of the fees, not all of them. I mean, I think that's a big problem that they don't remove all of the fees, but there's usually like a $5 fee or another $3 fee or something. By the time you get done with one DoorDash order and you look at all the different fees, if you did not have Dash Pass and you're just using DoorDash and you're paying all those fees on top, and then you have to tip, and of course you have tax. So it's like you've got 3 fees at least usually, tax, then a tip. I mean, you've just blown your whole order out of the water. But if you must keep DoorDash, okay, or something like that, I'm sure Uber Eats and other ones have some equivalent, similar type of a program or a pass or something. Buy the Dash Pass at half off. Make sure it's 50% off, or you don't want it. You don't want it. It becomes worth it because even though you've paid like, what breaks down to what, $5 if it's $60 a year, that's $5 a month that you've technically spent on it. Even if you do two DoorDash orders, you've already saved. You've already it's already paid for itself over itself. Okay. So if you have to do that, do that. Okay. So now we've talked about DoorDash. We've reduced some of your bills. We've cut this DoorDash thing in half. Or, I mean, if you have to, get rid of it. Like if you're not a single person alone, if you have a spouse, you have a family, you don't need DoorDash, okay? Just get rid of it. Get rid of the app. Delete the app, okay? But sometimes single people or older people, it could be good because when you're sick or you're in a jam, that can help you out. Okay, what's next? What can I think of next? I mean, yes, there's the whole coffees and eating out, like DoorDash or whatever. I mean, that's just common sense. That's just called shop around now. Do you want to pay $20 for a burrito anymore or do you not? I decided that was one thing. I did decide I'm not paying $20 for a burrito anymore, and I haven't been to Chipotle in ages, ages. And that's not buying it from DoorDash. That's going to Chipotle, standing in line. They make a burrito for you, and then in the end, it's $20, and you're like, no, this isn't worth it. I know they're really big burritos, but I'm sorry, it's not worth $20. So you just have to examine, is the, you know, sometimes you might be able to get a $5 coffee. I don't know, we used to be able to get a dollar coffee at places when it was just plain black coffee. But you could get like a $3 or $4 coffee today if it's black coffee. But I think the cheapest I could get like a medium iced coffee somewhere was $4. Okay. However, yes, you go to Starbucks and you add up all the things and the tips and the whatever, and then your drink is like $9. Maybe you have to not get the $9 drink anymore. Maybe it's time to not necessarily make it at home, because I agree. I get it. And I have all the devices. My goodness. If I showed you, I have the super uber espresso coffee machine that's all double side by side, almost looks like a little shrunken down professional coffee thing. I also have the nitro where I can make my own nitro coffee at home. And I do it on occasion. I still use all those things, but it doesn't taste the same. It doesn't taste like Dunkin'. It doesn't taste like Starbucks. It doesn't matter if you even buy Dunkin' coffee or Starbucks coffee. They have a way of making it. I don't care how many videos you watch. It's never going to be the same at home. And I'm sorry. I know this is hypocritical probably, but so I understand the whole, oh, we still want to go out and get the thing. But what you might have to do is go, wow, instead of the $9 Starbucks coffee, we go to Dunkin' and get the $5 coffee or whatever or wherever. Okay. So it's just making an exchange for something else that's still decent and still good and still makes you feel like you're going out and getting something. Because sometimes half of the thing is just, and I hate to say this sounds terrible. It's the drive and the going and the getting the thing, and then like the routine you're in, because like I'm in a routine where I like to go and drive and get my breakfast, and then I go straight to the beach, and then I read my Bible and I do things and whatever, and I'm at the beach. It's a thing. Have I done it with stuff I've made at home? Yes. So it's an option. You could do all the home things, cut out all the coffees, or maybe you'll have it. Maybe that's another option. And I have done that too, where like, okay, I'm only going to go out and get X coffees or whatever this many times a week. It's not going to be every day, you know? So there's that. Then, okay, so we've now cut out a lot of bills. We've reduced a lot of our bills. Here's where I'm going to make some suggestions that are slightly tonally different, where we might add some bills. So I know this doesn't make any sense, but now I'm going to talk about saving time, okay? And saving time sometimes costs money, but money is a resource we can get. You can make more money. You can get more money. You just can. Money's an infinite resource. Time is not. So when you reach middle age, sometimes time is it's a big commodity. It's a big deal when you don't have enough time. Also, too, sometimes if you're ill, you need some help. So you might need to hire a person to do pet sitting or pet help for you, or outsourced laundry. There are services now that come to pick up. I mean, there have been services forever at laundromats, but now there are apps. Like there's a Poplin app and there's a Clothesline app, and they are services, and those are just two that I know of. There's many that come and pick up your laundry. But also, yes, you can drop off your laundry at a local laundromat and have them do your laundry. And it is probably cheaper because then there's not a lot of service charges and whatnot. So it's having things like that done sometimes that saves you time. Or instead of cleaning your own house, have a house cleaner come in, every 2 weeks or once a month for heavy cleaning or whatever it is that you need. But you might find that getting back your time in your life does more than getting back money. But also, too, if you just saved, you know, $400 to $600, and you can now afford to divert some of that money over to getting maybe, because if you do laundry, you could even maybe just drop it off once a month, pay $100. It doesn't cost me that much because I'm one person, even though I do have a ton of laundry for one person. But the entire point is that this video is about when you're in your middle age and you're saving money, first of all, but sometimes you need to save time. Because if you're still working, and my goodness, if you have children or grandchildren, or you're taking care of your parents, when on earth are you going to do laundry? Truly, you can't. You have to, like, that is where I would be like, you know what? I don't even have time to watch one of the TV shows on my $400 cable or $300 a month cable. So cut that out. And wow, now I have $300 a month to spend on sending out my laundry because I got to take care of my parent, my grandchild, or my children and my parents, or you're stuck in the middle of a nightmare and you need time. But you need some time back for yourself. Well, you're never going to get that unless you outsource some of your chores. And that's, again, laundry and cleaning are probably the two biggest ones. So I know it's going to cost money, but if you just save money, you've got money. So that's about all I can think of for this video, but those are big things. Those are some of the biggest chunks out of a budget. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot one of the other bigger chunks. This is my fault. Your car. I know, I'm going to offend a lot of people with this one. So we're going back to budgeting and saving money, okay? And this will help you afford even more laundry. I know cars are a touchy subject, and I totally understand too. Being a single woman, I want my car to run properly. I don't want to be stuck somewhere if I can help it. I don't want to be out in the middle of whatever. Where I live now, I'm so much luckier. It's a smaller state. We have AAA, which covers like the northeast of the United States, and they're really good. It's like a towing service and all kinds of stuff. They'll jump your battery in your car. They'll do tire change and stuff like that. Where I was in the Midwest before, you had just towing companies. You didn't have like a AAA unit of all the same types of, trucks doing the same service or whatever. So if you were stuck out on a highway or something and you're a woman alone, it would have, it's a nightmare. So depending on your life situation will depend on what you're going to do as far as an auto investment. Now, I know some of you might need to buy a new car or lease a new car. I would never personally buy a new car. And a lot of people will say, oh, well, if you lease, you're just throwing your money away. No, you're not. And I'll tell you why. Because today, cars are way overpriced. They are just way, way overpriced. So if you buy it, you are paying the depreciation and everything else, and you're owning everything up front. Okay. If you lease, you are taking the MSRP minus what they figure out, basically what they believe the car will be valued at when you're done with your lease. Okay. So that would be, if you wanted to buy out your car later, you could at that estimated residual value. Okay. So then the difference between that is what you pay for your lease plus whatever your interest rate is if you're financing. And I say if you're financing, you'd still have to finance even if it's a one-pay lease, because you can pay your whole lease up front if you want. You can just do a one-pay and pay your entire lease, but you're still paying the interest on it. But the point is that if you want brand new, leasing is the way to go. Yes, unfortunately, your car insurance has to be the highest level of insurance, which then that's a high expense. I know all this because I've done all this. I have bought many cars, I've leased many cars, and now I have a used car. So, but it's in good condition. But it is very difficult. However, I always had a limit in my mind. And this is the thing. I think this is what a lot of people today don't do. They don't put enough of a limit on themselves mentally to go, hey, what can I really afford out of my budget? Because you're not just thinking about the car payment. When they come back at the dealership and tell you, well, this is your payment every month, you know. And today you've probably watched a lot of YouTube videos where it's like $1,000, $1,200. That's a mortgage or a part of a mortgage for somebody. That is not a car payment. That is not a realistic car payment. I was lucky my last car payment was in the 600s, but that was still pretty high because your car payment's in the 600s, then your insurance, depending on the state that you live in, and some of these states are insane, and I live in an insane state where they charge you the most. So my car insurance was like $180 a month with no accidents. No accidents, no tickets, no nothing. $180 a month. Okay. Pile that onto your car. Then you got to put fuel in it. Put some fuel in it. And then, of course, you have some basic maintenance. I mean, you've got to get the oil changes. Once in a while, you have a flat tire, whatever. So there's minimal amounts of maintenance, but all those costs add up. And when you figure it out monthly, you're like, wow, I'm already at like 900 or 1,000 with all these costs put together. So you have to make enough money for that. There's so many people upside down in their cars right now because the loans are crazy, or they flipped more cars into the other, and it's ridiculous. The only way you get out of an upside down car loan is either pay it off, obviously, pay it to the end, or you go into a lease from that. And the car dealership could help you with that if that's what you want to do. Not the greatest decision, but it is a way out. But cars. Cars are one of our biggest expenses outside of our home. And if you can get the car thing under control, along with your cable, along with your internet, along with your phone, you'll have a lot more money left back, left over. Right now, now that I have my used car, that's only like three years old, and there's only 23,000 miles on it, I think. So there's minimal mileage. I changed my insurance because, again, I live in the insane state. So I structured my insurance so I'm still covered in every way. But as far as if I were to cause an accident, I have extremely high deductibles. So it's sort of like, okay, well, hopefully I keep driving the way I've driven forever. And I don't do that. But if I do, then I have to pay to fix my car or whatever. So I've restructured all of that, and that saved me a lot of money now. So it's just a matter of taking a good look at running the numbers too. Think about how long are you going to have the car? Are you going to have this car 3 years, 5 years? Some people keep their cars for 7 to 10 years. Great. What, do the math. What is the, if you have a payment, or if you were able to pay cash for your car. I was able to pay cash for my used car, so I'm good. I don't have a payment, but I did pay that money. So to me, it's like, okay, if I'm going to have this car for 5 years, then I paid for that 5-year life of this car. You have to break down what are the yearly costs, what's your monthly cost, and then once you have that, you can see how much money you can save if you do something different. So take a look and analyze all of that. And if you're in a bad car situation, get out of it. Figure out how to get out of it. It might be rolling into a lease. It might be just selling your cars if you own them and then buying some used cars. I don't know. You've got to run all the numbers and do all the math. But if you're way over your head in your cars and it's killing you, and that's like a big monthly expense, it's like second to your mortgage or over your mortgage, I mean, or over your rent. Some people are paying more or as much for their car as their rent. So reassess it. So these are the ways that in middle age you could save money and time, which are both important things. And I hope you gleaned something from this of some of the different things that you can take a look at and restructure. so that you don't have to cut it out and give it up necessarily, but you can restructure your life to being affordable for you. So that was the whole point. And I do wish you well as you review your budgets. All right. I will see you soon.